Bitcoin's darkest secret, the IRGC crypto cartel. The United States thought they had Iran completely cornered. They blocked their banks. They sanctioned their oil exports. They cut them off from the entire global financial system. But they forgot one crucial detail. Iran doesn't actually need to sell its oil to make billions. Instead, they are physically transforming it. Using massive warehouses filled with Chinese computer chips, they convert stranded natural gas into borderless wealth. This isn't some rogue group of basement hackers. This is a $7.7 billion state-sponsored crypto cartel. It is run directly by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. They use this digital money laundering machine to fund proxy wars across the Middle East. But how exactly does a sanctioned nation turn cheap electricity into a global shadow economy? And how did they do it using legally registered shell companies right in London? Section 1. The origin of the misconception. For decades, the US government had a foolproof weapon: economic sanctions. If a country stepped out of line, America simply froze their money. In 2018, the US launched a maximum pressure campaign against Iran. They completely banned international banking. They severed Iranian institutions from the SWIFT network. SWIFT is the messaging system that makes global trade possible. Without it, a country cannot send or receive money across borders. Iran's economy went into an absolute freefall. The national currency, the rial, lost 90% of its value. They had oceans of oil and natural gas, but they couldn't sell a single drop on the open market. Physical cash smuggling wasn't enough to run a modern state. The regime was facing a catastrophic liquidity crisis. Everyone thought the sanctions were working perfectly. Western politicians celebrated the isolation of a rogue state. But out of sheer desperation, Iran found a massive loophole. They looked at their unsellable oil and had a terrifying realization. They didn't need to ship it in physical barrels. They could transmit it directly across the internet. Section 2. The hot take. In August 2019, the Iranian government made a historic move. They officially legalized cryptocurrency mining as an industrial activity. This wasn't about embracing decentralized finance. This was a highly calculated macroeconomic arbitrage loop. Here is how this genius dark system actually works. Iran has massive reserves of stranded energy. The government subsidizes commercial electricity to an insane degree. Miners pay as little as a fraction of a penny per kilowatt hour. It takes a massive amount of energy to mine one Bitcoin. In Iran, the electricity cost to mine that Bitcoin is just $1,300. That same Bitcoin sells globally for tens of thousands of dollars. This creates an extraordinary profit margin of 20 to 30 times the cost. It is completely immune to traditional naval blockades. The state essentially prints digital money using stranded gas. But the government didn't just let anyone mine for profit. They built a massive trapdoor. To get a legal mining permit, operators had to agree to one strict rule. Every single Bitcoin they mined had to be sold directly to the central bank of Iran. The state instantly captured the entire digital extraction economy. But to scale this up rapidly, they needed serious hardware. And for that, they turned to a very specific, dangerous military partner. Section 3. Expanding the empire. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is not just a military force. They are a sprawling, ruthless financial empire. And they quickly took absolute control of this new crypto cartel. The IRGC owns and controls the vast majority of the mining devices in Iran. We are talking about an estimated 180,000 active high-powered machines. To build this infrastructure, they formed strategic partnerships with Chinese investors. China manufactures the best mining hardware in the world. Together, they built massive industrial megafarms. The biggest facility is located in the Rafsanjani Special Economic Zone. It houses 54,000 top-tier miners. It consumes an astonishing 175 megawatt-hours of electricity. That is enough power to run a small city. And that is exactly where the problem started for ordinary Iranians. The civilian power grid simply could not handle the strain. At peak capacity, state-backed crypto mining consumes 2,000 megawatts. That equals the output of multiple full-scale nuclear power plants. This immense power drain caused the national grid to collapse. Major metropolitan areas suffered severe rolling blackouts. Factories were forced to shut down entirely. Bakers rioted because the digital bread rationing system went offline. But the IRGC did not care. When civilian energy regulators tried to shut down illegal farms, they faced military troops. Heavily armed IRGC units physically blocked regulators from entering the facilities. The military protected their digital wealth while citizens froze in the dark. And surprisingly, this was just the domestic side of the operation. Section 4. The offshore laundering machine. The Central Bank of Iran now had a massive pile of untraceable Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is highly volatile. It is not the best currency for international weapons deals. So the regime quickly evolved their strategy. They used the mined Bitcoin to pay international suppliers for critical imports. This completely bypassed the US-controlled SWIFT network. But for funding terror proxies and military operations, they needed something stable. They needed United States dollars. This is the ultimate irony of the Iranian crypto machine. A nation dedicated to destroying US financial hegemony relies entirely on digital dollars. They shifted their focus to a stablecoin called Tether. Tether is pegged directly to the value of the US dollar. The IRGC specifically uses Tether minted on the Tron blockchain. Tron is incredibly fast. It has near zero transfer fees. It is perfect for both microtransactions and billion-dollar bulk transfers. By the end of 2025, the Iranian crypto ecosystem was valued at $7.78 billion. The IRGC commanded over 50% of that entire market share. They moved over $3 billion in a single year. But to move that kind of money globally, they needed front companies. They needed to infiltrate the Western financial system itself. Section 5. The London Shell Game. If you want to launder $1 billion, you don't hide in a rogue state. You hide in plain sight. The IRGC deployed a notorious Iranian financier named Babak Zanjani. Zanjani engineered a highly sophisticated network of offshore shell companies. They specifically targeted the United Kingdom's Companies House. They found a citizen from the Dominican Republic to act as a strawman director. Using her signature, they legally registered 2 companies in London, Zedcex and Zedxion. They set up a virtual office at 71 to 75 Shelton Street. It looked like a perfectly legitimate Western corporate entity. Underneath this pristine cover, they operated as front exchanges for the IRGC. They utilized white label technology from Singapore. They integrated with fiat payment processors in Turkey. This bridged their sanctioned digital assets directly into the formal banking sector. These 2 UK-registered platforms quietly processed over $1 billion. The funds were routed directly to Hawala operators in Syria. They financed Houthi military operations and drone procurement in Yemen. They paid Hezbollah commanders. It was a masterclass in exploiting Western corporate bureaucracy. The US Treasury was completely blind to it for years. They only managed to sanction these entities in January 2026. By then, the $1 billion was already gone. The digital money laundering machine was seemingly untouchable. Until someone finally decided to fight fire with fire. Section 6. The Cyber War and Civilian Toll. In the decentralized finance space, hackers usually steal money to get rich, but the geopolitical rules are entirely different. In June 2025, a massive cyber attack hit Nobitex. Nobitex is Iran's largest domestic cryptocurrency exchange. 15 million ordinary Iranians relied on it to survive hyperinflation. A pro-Israel hacker group successfully breached the system. They drained $90 million in digital assets, but they did not keep a single penny. Instead, they routed the $90 million into burner addresses. These are wallets with no known private keys. The money was permanently destroyed. It was vaporized into digital dust. This was a kinetic military-style strike. It was executed purely to inflict economic damage and degrade regime liquidity. This exposes the dark, dual nature of cryptocurrency in Iran. For the IRGC, crypto is a tool of state survival and terror funding. For the Iranian citizen, it is a desperate lifeline against a failing economy. The exact same technology empowers the oppressor and the oppressed. When the state shuts off the internet to suppress protests, citizens panic. They frantically move their funds into unseizable cold wallets. They are caught in a brutal crossfire between international cyber warfare and their own government. The regime burns their electricity to fund militias, leaving the public in the dark. It is a digital tragedy playing out on a public ledger. The story of Iran's Bitcoin empire is a massive wake-up call. Traditional economic sanctions were built for a physical world. You can blockade a port, you can seize an oil tanker, you can freeze a bank account, but you cannot sanction a mathematical algorithm. Iran proved that an isolated nation can synthesize its own economy. They transmuted stranded natural gas into borderless digital power. They exploited the UK corporate registry to build a shadow banking network. The US Treasury is stuck playing an endless game of digital whack-a-mole. As long as a country has cheap energy and internet access, they can evade the system. The global financial order has fundamentally changed forever. The blockchain does not care about borders or embargoes. It only processes the next block.